Welcome to Golden Mastermind Seminars Radio with your host, Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffery Combs, good to be here with you on Tuesday, Facebook Live, 2 for Tuesday, on a beautiful California afternoon. I'm looking forward, I'll let the Facebook Live populate, and then I'll move into the inspirational portion of today's Facebook Live in a relaxed body. Breathe, release, and let go in a relaxed body. It is 1:03. Jeff Cregan in Florida, good to have you here with me. You are first on today on Facebook Live on Tuesday. Topic for today's Facebook Live is this will relate to all addicts, self-sabotage. So if you are coming on here this afternoon on Tuesday Facebook Live, I am honored to have you join me in a relaxed body. That is correct. That is what I am covering today. Breathe, release, and let go. So the payoff. The payoff is recreate a situation to fulfill a neurochemical craving that I am emotionally addicted to. A large percent of society lives in this energy of the payoff. And if that is you, today is a great day to have a better understanding, to understand what self-sabotage means. And if you're a chronic relapser, a chronic sabotager, or you may even be clean and sober but find yourself in relationship challenges, or you chronically create conflict and chaos, it's a very common commonality. A large percent of the world population self-sabotage. The word sabotage comes from a group of French serfs called the Sabots, S-A-B-O-T-S. They wore wooden clog-like shoes back in the 14th, 15th century, and the lore was that they stomped out their own grain to protest a tax and died of starvation. So that is the term sabotage. A French client of mine once told me the whole history of the Sabots, and I thought it was fascinating. I've Googled it and looked it up before, and that's what the term, or the origin of the word sabotage comes from, and it means self-inflicted. So if you are creating self-inflicted drama, self-inflicted trauma, self-inflicted pain, and you keep recreating the same situation over and over, it's just like the old term, you might be a redneck, by Jeff Foxworthy. He had this whole litany of questions. Well, my questions would be, do you find yourself in conflict frequently with other people? Do you find yourself in a situation that you have to be right? Now, these may not be you specifically, but some of these will hit home. In your intimate relationships, do you attract people who are narcissistic? Do you attract people who have a lot of drama and trauma, and then you're chronically winding yourself in or out of it? And do you attract people that you chronically have to rescue? Are you a chronic rescuer, as well as the other situations that go with these trauma-based relationships that you are in? Self-sabotage is based on 4 different levels of trauma. So there would be sexual trauma, the sexual abuse that you may have experienced as a child through either incest or other means of situations, and or multiple situations. And there is the physical trauma. Were you beaten with a stick, with a switch, a ruler, a wooden spoon? The weapons of choice throughout the 60s and 70s were rulers and spoons. Were you beaten with those? Did you have to walk to the tree and break your own switch off? And if you did, there's a high probability you may have experienced hay fever on that walk to and from the tree. That hay fever would manifest as a mind-body connection to the dandelions, the grass, and the other situations that you are experiencing on that walk to and from the tree. So if that, and then did your mother beat you? Were you beaten by a mother? And it's very common. And did you ever take the stick away from your mother? Did you ever turn it around? I mean, these are questions I've asked countless times. So that's the physical trauma that you experience. The emotional trauma would be the hazing, the ridicule, a brother that singled you out, a sister that singled you out, your brother's friends, playmates on the school ground, a nun, a priest, multitudes of situations where you were physically abused. And then there's the emotional trauma, the criticism, the highly critical brother, sister, just like I'm covering. And then there's the generational trauma. That's the trauma in the families, both sets of grandparents, aunts, uncles, adult child of alcoholic addicts, adult child of narcissists. And so these are the feelings that lead to not feeling good enough. Then we will recreate relationships. We'll reinvent relationships to fulfill the same set of feelings. And if this is you, today is a great day to take a deeper look at why you do what you do and begin the let go process so that you are separating your feelings from the events that shape them so that you are no longer the mind-body connection to the events that shape the feelings. Sabotage is also when you're Jojo the Indian circus boy and you're driving along just like in Tommy Boy and you're cruising along, then all of a sudden you blow it. You create some situation to sabotage yourself. And if you're a chronic sabotager, it means you chronically start over. And this is why people go from job to job, they go from business to business, relationship to relationship, because we are chronically running from ourself. And once again, if this is you and you are rigorously honest with yourself today and you can look at your character defects by stepping back outside so you can observe rather than participate, now you're moving into letting go, emotional sobriety. Congratulations. This requires courage. And most of the society and most of the world will not exhibit this courage because they will just continue to recreate the same situation and fulfill the same set of feelings that keeps them emotionally addicted to anxiety, fear, and specifically doubt. And the recovery process requires the courage to look at yourself, the courage to understand why you do what you do, so that you don't have these dry spells in your business. That if you're consistent emotionally, you'll start to have consistent results. If you're inconsistent emotionally, you'll skip your workouts in the morning. Then you'll try and make up for them later at night, or you'll just blow them off. You sabotage your opportunity to exercise because you did not have the discipline to get up in the morning. And the reason you would not have the discipline and the reason you would sabotage yourself is because you're rebelling against yourself. And when you sabotage, it means you also rebel. Now, if you tell yourself you're psychologically unemployable, but you can't adhere to your own set of guidelines, standards, don't have a method, system, or routine, then you're sabotaging yourself. And it's a chronic situation that affects most of the planet and most of the world. And if this is you, today is a great day to take a deep look at this and begin this recovery process. Recovery begins with courage, the courage to look at the situation for what it is, rigorous honesty. And that honesty is liberating once you can be and stay honest. Because once you've crossed that bridge, then you'll let go of pathologically lying. If you're a liar, you lie to yourself or you lie to others. Or you're an over-obligator or an over-committer, or you do too much for others and put yourself last. This is all part of the recovery process. Now, the way that many people sabotage themselves is through an addiction called codependency. They will put themselves last, do more for other people, and then set themselves up to be disappointed by other people who do not follow through, who do not do what they say, who are not there when they are supposed to be there at a set time. And the better you get at this, the more higher the consciousness you will access. I am a recovering self-sabotager. I'm about to become 69 years old, but have sabotaged myself a few hundred times. In recovery, in sobriety, I have alienated great clients inadvertently. I have said things off the cuff that were inappropriate. I have made remarks that were inappropriate. I have done it all. And my recovery, I started my codependent recovery on December 6th, 2009. My father he was unique. So he was a very unique person. So I learned a lot by watching him, and then I repeated a lot of his behaviors. And as I'm learning the let go process, I'm learning how to shut my mouth more frequently, not speak when it's not appropriate, and let go of being a smart ass, a wise ass, a witty guy, a guy who's making fun of the situation, making light of it, and then I get sensitive and defensive when people would call me out. Then I'd want to get in a fight. I want to be right. And that was throughout most of my 20s. In my 30s, I really began to improve on that in my recovery through the 12-step program, specifically with the term humility, being humble enough to understand my own character defects, letting go of being the life of the party, the smart ass, the wise ass. And that whole modality that I had developed by imitating other people in my family, being a prankster, being a jokester. Well, the joke was typically on me because my sense of humor didn't match other people, and then they would get offended, and then I would get offended because they were offended. Then I would be the guy saying, "Oh, come on, dude, I was just kidding you, come on." Well, that's a narcissistic behavior that narcissists do. Narcissists make rude and lewd remarks, and then they turn it around, so that's gaslighting, and they'll gaslight you by telling you that, "Oh, come on, dude, you got a chip on your shoulder, loosen up, lighten up, don't you ever smile, give yourself a break, come on, man, come on, dude, loosen up, baby, it's just me, come on, cuz, I'm your homie, just let it go." Well, that's what happens. That's how relationships are sabotaged, and this is why you want to be able to breathe, release, and let go in a relaxed body. Another way that many people sabotage themselves, and this was on the syllabus that I put out every week, letting go of self-sabotage. This is a topic I cover frequently. I'm going to be speaking for a group of 300 insurance agents in Arizona, and this is some of the content I'm going to cover. But right here, what many people do to avoid their own success is they avoid failure and they avoid success. They sabotage their own success by avoiding it. Is this you? Do you do that? Do you do that by having poor habits, poor discipline? Do you do that by not getting up early enough in the morning? Do you do that by staying up too late at night and you can't get up early in the morning? Do you avoid your exercise when you should be doing it? Do you have a dedicated block of time to prospect, or do you just wing it? Well, that's what most people do. Are you a chronic winger with no system, no routine, and no method? And if that is the case, then you will sabotage yourself. And when you start to practice the skill of letting go, the mechanism of letting go, you're moving into higher levels of consciousness, which is I understand, I know, I'm aware. And as you begin to catch yourself saying kinda, guess, and I don't know, those are all words of sabotage that are inserted into the English language in the sentence structure because I guess, that's doubt. I don't know, that's doubt. Kinda is uncertainty. And this is how Americans, Canadians, Australians, and people who speak the English language, they speak an unconscious language of non-commitment, which is sabotage. When you are committed, there is no sabotage. When you are committed, you're living in the solution. When you attend a 12-step meeting 30 days in a row and get a chip, well, you're not sabotaging your sobriety. Addicts sabotage their sobriety all of the time because they get cocky. That is one of the words. They get on a pink cloud. They go, "Oh, no, dude, I don't require the program. Man, I don't have time for that. I don't have time to be sober. I'd rather just wing it. I'm a good winger and I can pull it off." And I have seen thousands of people lose their sobriety by getting cocky, by winging it. And they'll have, a classic one, when you're out at dinner, when someone will order a dessert at the end of the meal, and then they'll say, "Well, I'll make up for it tomorrow. Hey, I'm just going to have one bite," and then they eat the whole situation. Because for an addict, one is too many and 1,000 is not enough. And when you begin to understand this behavior, and you understand that how you sabotage yourself, the reason you will sabotage yourself is because of the events that shape the feelings that allow you not feeling good enough. And if you're not good enough, you're comparing yourself to other people. And if you don't feel good enough, you don't feel capable. If you don't feel good enough, you're in doubt. If you don't feel good enough, you'll compare yourself to other people. If you don't feel good enough, you'll make up excuses to sabotage yourself. And the ultimate sabotage is to avoid the responsibility of being, and then you fill in the blank, intimate, in a relationship, successful in a business, clean and sober. You will sabotage it because the ego does not want you to be at peace. Your ego lives in a scrambled brain, in brain fog, a panic pattern. And it has to always be doing something and being busy. And the busyness also means avoiding, moving from here to there, running around, not having any system, any routine, any method, recreating the same situation to fulfill the same set of feelings. As you begin to have a better understanding of why you sabotage yourself, as you have a better understanding of you stepping into your higher power, in your power, and you're letting go, as you begin to surrender to God and realize that you deserve a relationship, you deserve intimate relationships with intimate people, with friends, a lover, someone close to you, when you feel you deserve that and you're letting go of sabotaging yourself. When you stop worrying about the outcome, you're letting go of sabotage. When you are no longer the mind-body connection to the traumatized child who was in the corner worrying about the future that hasn't happened. When you let go of the emotional abuse, the physical abuse, the sexual abuse, the generational trauma that you have lived. It's a process. You're doing this one day at a time over a long lifetime. You are changing the frequency. You're changing the way that the neurological network of neurons that wire and fire that form your feelings. When you begin to understand the chemistry of the brain and how when your amygdala is beginning to operate in a relaxed brain, and the reticular activating system that sends a signal from the new thought forms that you are now sending. When your pineal gland is not calcified from the trauma-based mind control and the feelings of unworthiness that you have held on to throughout your life, when you are releasing them, you are virtually changing the signal. You're going from noise to signal. The signal is shut down because of the noise you have on. But when you understand signal to noise rather than noise to signal, then you're changing the whole frequency of the transmutational energy that you are sending telepathically. And so when you are casting your vision from love, from joy, and you believe you deserve to achieve your vision and your dream, and you're not in the doubt of it, then the energy you're sending is clean. When you're in doubt of it, your energy is scrambled. It's not clean. It doesn't move. It doesn't have the same level of movement. You're not flowing. You're not in prosperity. You're in resistance. And it's the resistance to success, the resistance to love. Whoa, I'm not sure if I can handle a relationship. Well, you won't be able to because of the communication and the belief that energy is just sent off. When you tell yourself, I deserve a relationship. When you say, I deserve to attract quality, like-minded clients. When you believe you have the ability in real estate, insurance, network marketing, direct sales, branding, coaching, speaking, when you believe that you're capable of attracting these clients, they virtually show up. I mean, I had 2 of them show up today. I mean, that's how it happens. When you are breathing, releasing and letting go in a relaxed body, the transmutational energy that you are now transmuting will create synchronistic events. The box seats will be available. The car that you wanted to buy is available to you. Someone will drop the price to a price that you are looking for. That your house will sell just like this. Someone will come in with a cash offer. The seats available to you in first class without you asking to upgrade. There's a booth in the restaurant for you. There's a parking space right up front. The parking space has been my tell for life. There's always a parking space right up front for me. It doesn't matter where, doesn't matter when, there's always a parking space for me. When this becomes your belief, now you are certain and you will attract your reality more frequently, quality, like-minded success seekers in a higher level of frequency. And this is, so instead of sabotaging yourselves, instead of sabotaging your success, you're embracing your success. Instead of sabotaging your success, you're expecting your success. Instead of sabotaging your life, you're living a good life. I mean, you've let go of the anxiety, fear, and doubt, and you're living in a higher vibrational energy. You've let go of the anxiety, fear, and specifically doubt, and you're living in truth. You've let go of anxiety, fear, and doubt, and you're able to trust yourself and you can trust others. When you've let go of self-sabotage, you can trust your intuition. But if you continue to sabotage yourself, you will continue to doubt yourself. And doubt keeps you safe and keeps you disappointed. My name is Jeffery Combs, president and founder of Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated. You have an outstanding afternoon today. Breathe, release, and let go in a relaxed body.